African Union passport is expected to be with us this year. This as part of the African Continental Free Trade Area. It's aimed at easing travel throughout the continent, exempting bearers for Africa's 55 states. It's hoped the passport will deter xenophobia. Reporter Khayelihle Khumalo is following the story and joins us now. So, Kaya, how feasible is the idea of an AU passport for ordinary citizens?
I mean, Andy, when you go back to 2016, to one of the AU summits, there was a massive joy, a sense of optimism when this particular announcement was made. But I mean, subsequently 2 years, that particular decision really has not really seen any massive development. Other than that, there has been a lot of postponement. So that's one issue that leaders have really been battling with in terms of making sure that practically this passport is able to benefit so many Africans across 55 nations. But also, we do know that, in terms of the visa revenue, there are some countries that are benefiting out of that. So when you remove the visas, some of them stand to really lose quite a great deal. But in terms of the feasibility of the idea, so now there's quite a lot of excitement that 2021 is going to be a good year to really see that Africans really do get these opportunities. So we got an opportunity to speak to one expert from the Centre of the Migration, Anli, and this is what she had to say.
I think that the idea of an African passport as proposed by the AU is something that has great relevance in a continent whereby migration and mobility are so ever-present and form an incredibly important part of socioeconomic development, both for individuals, communities and countries. We know that migration is an important livelihood for people across the continent, so facilitating ways for individuals to move is obviously key. The challenge is whether a continental approach that relies on a single understanding and agreement is one that will work in a context of various nations.
Kaya, is there widespread support for this AU passport?
Well, that's right, Andy. So there's a widespread support for this particular passport, especially because the challenges of traveling across the continent, quite a number of challenges. That when you want to go to country one and from country B, you do need a visa in some instances. So others are really welcoming the removal of those barriers. But also, most importantly, we know that when you look at the context of South Africa with issues from time to time of xenophobia, others do attribute it to the fact that perhaps this could be one of the very pivotal moments in terms of making sure that we do away with some of the challenges. So we do have a very good opportunity to try and do away with those particular barriers. But we know that at times countries will prioritize the movement of goods from country A to country B as opposed to the movement of the people. And migration is quite a very topical issue in Africa. So we spoke to the leader of the Nigerian Union here in South Africa, and they say this is quite a very long overdue move.
It's going to help naturally solve some migration issue. All these immigration bottlenecks here and there, it should naturally solve it. And this will also help government to invest more in national reorientation of people, orientation and reorientation of people to say that this is one Africa. It's a borderless Africa now. Everybody is allowed to move in. Like it takes some bottlenecks for you to move to Nigeria. Most of the time when South Africans want to go to Nigeria, they need to go through visa, go through a lot of stringent requirements before they could be allowed entry. But when such is no more there, you can actually move in, do whatever you want to do, and go back.
Well, thanks very much, reporter Khayelihle Khumalo, bringing us that story.